I do with my hands. Good evening. What a great theme song. Fox really outdid themselves. I don't know who was tasked with what assignment, but when they came up with this doodad, that was good. That was maybe the best theme song for all of sports. Okay, welcome everybody. It is I, your host, your commissioner, regrettably, and the final contender, perhaps, in the losers bracket, Jeff. That's my name. All right, let's get into it. A few things to cover. I didn't make a video yesterday because the NFL's dumb and did videos on a Wednesday. That's usually my buffer day. I'm usually able to get a video out last minute before the Thursday night game, but they decided to have football on a Wednesday like some kind of idiots. Anyways, and those games were trash. Trash games. Trash. All right, well, we'll just go ahead and get on into it. We had ourselves two games that everyone was gripped and watch. Actually, they were kind of terrible. We had two important games. We had Sean riding a 12-game win streak, taking on Team Touchdown, taking on, I think he lost actually the final game of the regular season because he didn't really care, but happened to beat Greg, who hasn't stopped complaining about that, last week. And then on the other side of the bracket, we had Mike taking on Michael, the battle of Mikes, the old Michael-off. We'll just not explore that. Anyways, that's what we had. So we're going to get on into it. We're going to start with Mike versus Michael because to me that was less to talk about there. Well, maybe not less. Anyways, Michael, the overachiever, had a great season. A great season. One could even say that he overachieved. Mike is our, he won the league 2 years in a row. Didn't last year. But 2 of the last 3, not bad, and is finding himself in the semifinals with a chance to make it 3 out of 4, but more on that in just a moment. Yeah, Michael, couple key mistakes in you setting your lineup. One was a strange choice at tight end, Brenton Strange. I had to look that up because it was such a strange name. I'm going to keep saying that, but Strange only scored 1.2 points at tight end, and if you'd stuck with Njoku, your moneymaker at tight end, you would have had a net of 9 more points, which would have put you at, you scored 96, just for everyone following at home. You would have had 105. Mike scored 118. Can we fill that 13-point gap? Yeah, if you'd started Calvin Ridley instead of Brian Robinson Jr. But, I mean, who would have done that, honestly? He's been averaging 12 points a week, and he had 10, 19 the last 2 weeks. So, feeling pretty good about Brian Robinson, but he only gave you 1.1 points. So, if you started Ridley and Njoku instead of Robinson and Strange, you actually would have beat Mike by, I think, like half a point, which would have been pretty crazy. That would have been crazy, but you didn't, and you lost. Because who's going to play the coulda, woulda, shoulda game? Because if Mike had played the Buffalo defense instead of Minnesota, he would have still beat you. So you really can't play that game, but I'm going to let you play that game, Michael, just so you can stay awake at night, staring at your ceiling, saying, if only I had played those 2 guys, maybe I'd be in the championship game this round. Maybe. But you didn't, and you lost. So, Mike, heading back to the finals for the 3rd time in 4 years, I think we're starting to resent you. All of our hate was focused on Sean, but Mike flies under the radar because he doesn't participate in any of the festivities in our chat or anything. He just kind of remains aloof, and outside of, you can't, like, it's not as effective to mock people that are just not paying attention because, well, if they're not paying attention, what's the point? So you can really get under somebody's skin if you if someone's saying, hey, I was trying to I haven't made a video because I've been, celebrating Christmas with my family, but you use an old English term because you just watched the George C. Scott A Christmas Carol, and then people rib you and make fun of you for that. Well, then, yeah, you can get into somebody's skin. I don't know what I'm talking about in that case. No one can get under my skin. I am impenetrable as far as sticks and stones and all of that. But anyways, moving on. We had, like I said earlier, Sean, 12-game winning streak, taking on Dan. Dan has no business being here. Everybody knows that. Sean lost the very first game of the season, made a couple key trades, made a couple key acquisitions, made a couple key enemies, i.e. the league. And Sean, you did what no one ever wants to do, which is dominate the entire regular season, literally a 12-game streak to close out the season. Or is it 13 games? What was your final score? What was your final record? No, 12. No, 13-1. Wait, 13-1, but 12 games in a row? I'm confused. Anyways, you had a very large winning streak, and you took on Dan, and you scored 117.98. If you had played Mike, you would have lost. If you played Michael, you would have won. But who did you play? You played Dan, because that's what this league's all about. It doesn't care how many points you scored, Greg, as long as you weren't playing the right person at the right time. You'll lose. You'll lose. And Sean, you had a good... I mean, you've been averaging, I think if I recall back correctly, you were averaging like 118, 119 the whole season. So you did great. But as Dan did last week against Greg, Dan just outperformed everything that he's done this whole season. And you're 117.98, 20 from Murray, 32 from Achon, Mike, or Matt, bet you missed that this week. 11 from Brees Hall. I know I missed that this week. And, -2 from your defense. Admittedly not your greatest choice, but I don't think you have another defense on your bench because they're all on my bench. But I didn't play the single right one either. Anyways, what happened? I just got flipped from my page. Dan, 21 from Bo Nix. We were all laughing at you when you started him, but I guess you knew something we didn't. 24 from Jahmyr Gibbs. 32 from Justin Jefferson. 15 from this guy, T. Higgins. 15 from your defense. 12 from your kicker, and all that added up to 142.42, and all of that added up to Sean's shenanigans, trades, wheeling and dealing, slick moves, questions posted on fantasy football Facebook pages. It was all for naught. It was all for naught. But you did win last year, so I've never done that. Never even come close. Never even sniffed a championship. But you're here with me, not sniffing anything but defeat. Anyways, congratulations, Dan. Congratulations, Michael, or Mike. Sorry, I was trying to do your Christian name, but that's someone else in this league. So congratulations to Mike and Dan heading to our finals, to our championship. We'll do a couple real quick recaps of some other games. We had Greg taking on Jason, but that one doesn't matter at all. Greg, yeah, you scored a lot of points, but guess what? Wrong week, wrong place, wrong time, and... you just had, Chuba and Saquon got you 62 points. I think last week they got you 6.2 points. So what are you going to do? Anyways, in the losers bracket, really the only thing that I really want to highlight, Matt, you didn't score a lot of points, buddy. You're lucky you got to 60 because for a while there, I was looking like you were sniffing like 34 total. Anyways, Carlos beats Matt. The Weasel, Paul, congratulations. You went 0-14, and then you won. You won. You did it. You won. You beat Brandon 103-94. We all knew you had it in you. And it's fitting it came against Brandon. Why is it fitting? I don't know. Just kind of seems like it was. I beat Hannah 125-110. It is what it is. Little payback for that 0.3 loss that I had in week 2. But... anyways, all right, that was last week. So let's take a quick look at our championship bracket. Really, the only 2 games that matter this week is our actual championship, and then we've got our toilet bowl, which is Carlos and myself, 2 teams that were pitiful and woeful and miserable all year. And guess what? The losers bracket's a chance for second life. But it doesn't really matter because only 2 people have paid me the buy-in. So even if I win, do I even really? Anyways, Carlos, you owe me money. and Paul and Brandon, if you're watching this. Thank you, Hannah and Matt, for paying your losers' dues. Anyways, I'm taking on Carlos. CeeDee Lamb, stricken from my lineup. I'm pretty upset about that. But right now, even with that, I'm projected to win 109-94. We will see what happens because Carlos's team has been actually playing pretty well the last few weeks of the season. Mine has been too. I've had my best games of the year the last 3 weeks of the season. I am on a 3-game win streak. I don't know if anyone's paying attention, but wrong place, wrong time, wrong whatever. Everything was wrong. Everything's terrible. All right, Dan taking on Mike. Right now, there was, like I said, a Wednesday night game. I didn't get this video out in time. So Mike's had one person play who got him 24.5 points. What's up with that? Derrick Henry, even though he got tackled for a safety, you think that would be worth more negative points, but it's not. Anyways, right now the projection is Mike 123.9 to Dan's 121.9. Derrick Henry scored I think 7 more points than he was projected, which means prior to the Wednesday night game, Mike was projected to lose. But we have a little insider info, and now we're seeing that Mike is projected 51% win probability. So we're all pretty excited about that. In other news, so those are our 2 championship games. Sean and Michael are playing each other for the 3rd place game. Nobody really cares about that. Sorry, guys. Greg, yeah, you're playing. Jason, again, nobody really cares about that. Paul's playing Matt. Nobody really cares about that. But the 11th place game, we're going to see who comes in actual last place. We've got Team Queen taking on Chat GB Lee. Hannah, you had such a good season, 8-6, only to fall to the 11th place game. I hope you don't lose, because somebody's going on a calendar. But that would be creepy if anybody wants a calendar of my sister. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to put the kibosh on that. We're going to hope that Brandon loses, and then we're just going to call it a night. Anyways, that's what we've got going on this week, everybody. I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas week. It's that time of the year where you don't really know what day it is. Or as I like to call it, the last 6 months of my life. But my time off from work is coming to a close. In approximately 1 week from today, I go back to work. I haven't worked in about 6.5 months, and I'm trying to remember what I do. I definitely don't know my password, so we'll see what that day's like. Anyways, have you guys a very merry rest of your Christmas week, and I will be rooting for somebody. Myself, for the toilet bowl. For the championship, do we want Dan to win? Do we want Mike to win? It's kind of like... It's like watching the Chiefs and the Eagles, you know? Like, what a crappy game. That's probably what we're going to get as the Super Bowl this year. Anyways, Chiefs won't lose. That's really annoying. But Sean lost, so maybe there's hope. Sorry, Sean. Anyways, love you guys. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye.